101 experiences. What is it? An organization dedicated to creating tourism experiences and promoting Northern Ontario. How or what? By creating inspiring interviews. Having worked myself in the tourist industry, I will introduce you what are my favorites. Are you ready now? Here are my inspiring interviews. Hey, how you doing, Lynne?
Hi, I'm happy. I'm happy to be here doing this today.
Perfect. So my name is Nick Moore, and we are here to with our guest Lynne Cormier. And I would like, first of all, to thank the Leadership Center, NISCA, for helping us going through all these interviews. Our main goal is to have some people to inspire us in the tourism sector, and some people with how people will start doing experiences, and some people are already doing experiences on the tourism sector. I would like to thank you and to welcome you. First of all, thank you so much, Lynne.
Cool. Miigwech. Merci. Thank you.
Oh wow, thank you. How do you say thank you in Ojibwe?
Ojibwe. Miigwech.
Miigwech. Miigwech. So Miigwech. Thank you very much. And I would like to start first of all with your bio. First of all, how did you start? Where you from? Which region? And your school background and everything. So go ahead.
Okay.
It's your time, Lynne.
I'm a northern girl. Grew up, born and raised in Northern Ontario. Little town called Elk Lake, just a few kilometers away from my First Nation, Matachewan. And then I grew up Français Catholic. So I'm French speaking, grew up Catholic, not very in tune with my Indigenous side. That's something that kind of, as I learned as I grew up, why it wasn't really a big part of our life. But yeah, then I went to school. I went to college in Sudbury and then university in North Bay. I took social service worker, got my diploma with honors, and then I got a bachelor's in sociology at Nipissing. And
And why sociology? If I may, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to know why sociology.
So sociology it's been like ever since I was a kid, like really trying to understand people, understand myself, family dynamics, kind of like culture, like just, the whole community in itself. And I took sociology, and like it really just helped me understand why I am the way that I am, like who I am, and how I can manage that, I guess, in a positive way within my life.
Did it work well as well? Did you understand more parts of your life and your background?
Yeah, it's helped me a lot, but now it's almost like I know too much. Sometimes, you can't unlearn. So it helps me. Yeah, it's good. It's good in a lot of ways. I don't take any credit from that. But I'm very empathetic, I guess, to the world around me and the people, and it makes me a more understanding person, I guess, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Thank you very much for this little short bio of yourself. And you're right. You're so right. We cannot unlearn what we learn. It's at the same time a burden, and we are grateful. We're kind of grateful for it. But yes, you're right. And I hope so that your learning will help other people get through a lot of stuff, and will inspire you as well. What I want to touch next. It's what and why. What was the reason why that you wanted to start experiences on the tourism sector? Why would you think that it will be a good thing for you to be in this sector?
For me, it was definitely like I have a lot to share with the world, and I just don't really know how to harvest that. And with the opportunity of kind of transferring your passion into an experience where you could share, do, learn as well, but then like you get to kind of like make a little bit of money, and like there's that whole like it comes full circle. And for me, I didn't really know how to harvest it. And yeah, doing like for me, like my experiences are all going to be Indigenous based. I
Yes.
have a few in mind,
Yes.
and
Keep preaching. Keep preaching.
yeah, that's where I think that just those teachings, like they're very simple, but they're so meaningful. And for me, because I wasn't raised with that, it really changed my life when I started like really attending ceremony, going to doing traditional things, getting those teachings and respecting Mother Earth and the world around me. And, it's not, yeah, it's not rocket science. It's very, very simple, but it's harder to do than how we walk, I guess, within this world these days. And so yeah, I just want to share that with the world because Mother Earth needs that, and we can all benefit.
You're so right. You're so right. You have so much to offer, and it's incredible how little that you are represented in the space. I think so. You could add a value. You could really add something else in different aspect of our life. It could so much help us to really understand something else that we never understood. And could you be specify about what you will do on your experience? Like what kind of experience would you do?
So I have a few things in my head. Like there's so much that I can offer, but the experiences that I plan to offer, like one of them I've already done like a little bit of like a test run with, and we're gonna be doing medicine pouches together.
Oh,
So yeah. And the idea too is that everything has a meaning, everything has purpose. So I'm getting a TP in May because I don't want to have to rely on other people. So it's going to be my personal TP where I could do, yeah, I protect it and I take ceremonies in there, but like I want to bring other people in, and we'll have a fire and we'll sit around a fire, and we'll get the teachings of the smudge and the four sacred medicines, and we'll make a medicine pouch together. I'll share my teachings, and then there's going to be a little bit of a creation story that comes with why spirituality is so important and how like a lot of us just feel so disconnected from the world, and yeah, how important that is, and why I wear my medicine pouch. And for the people that create it, it's up to them to, they could wear it if they want, or they could maybe gift it to an elder or a friend or whatever they want to do with it. They could hang it in their house. There's lots of teachings behind the medicine pouch, and that's what I plan to share. But I also want to emphasize that what I'm sharing is not just the one way. There's many, many teachings, many ways. There's no way that's right or wrong. It's really just respecting that teacher in that place. And because I wasn't brought up like with my tradition, like I didn't get that from my mom or my dad or my grandparents. I had to go and learn that from other elders and people that still had that. And some things are contradictory, and that's okay. I have to pick and choose what I want to carry in my heart, and then you go from there.
you're totally
So
right, and it's okay to be contradictory. It's totally okay. I think so. Communication is the key. So we need to communicate and to know what the other person is thinking, and we can have the basis of that. This is really important. I would like to know too. Is it different from all the tribes and First Nation? Is it really different from one to the other? The way you want to bring it, or do you want to or you want to emphasize on certain way of teaching, certain way of your origins? How would you plan on doing this?
that is a great question. Even within my First Nation, like we're all Ojibwe people within my First Nation. There's elders that do things differently. Not one of them is right, not one of them is wrong. So I mean, like the teachings could be vast, they could be very diverse, but the core to them all is the same. So that's where you'll find a lot of similarities, even though the outsides are different. Even like if I can compare Mohawk people to us, when they go around the circle, like we go around clockwise and they go around counterclockwise. So, you know, we say they're backwards people, they say we're backwards people, but like neither of us are backwards.
Yeah,
We go by the rising of the sun, they go by the rotation of the earth. Very meaningful teachings.
you're so right. You're so right. So meaningful. It's
Yeah,
all connected. Is it me or is it all connected with the earth?
Yeah, it's connected with the earth, the sun, the stars, the sky, like anything you could think of, like the wind, the air, everything's interconnected. And there's teachings and meanings to everything, which is why I feel like what I have to share, which I feel is just like a little bit like I'm no expert and I don't want to claim to be. It's just so valuable because
But it's okay too. It's okay not to be an expert too. I think so. We need expert, that's for sure. But we need also people that are not expert but are really passionate about it as well, and they could give a voice or a different point of view to this really nice way of seeing the earth. I would like to know too, what was your epiphany moment, like the moment that you said, "Oh, I want to do that," because you don't have as you told me, you don't have this background. You have more French Catholic background, and you weren't raised in your origin. So when was your more of, okay, perfect, let's do this?
I think epiphany moment, like I was going through a really hard time in my life and I was seeking guidance. I wanted to kind of get back on track. I didn't know it was troubling me. And it was really getting connected to ceremony. Like I went fasting for 3 days. So like that's a ceremony that happens seasonally. Sometimes it depends on the community. And you go without water and food for a certain amount of time. And a lot of people think that that's like, you know, you could die if you don't have water for more than 3 days, but we do it regularly, I guess, in our tradition. And that was like my epiphany to like how connected like I can get to the world and how, you know, my work life doesn't need to be me. Like all these outer things does not need to be who I am. I need to, you know, break my own trail and do that for myself. And I think that seed got planted a long time ago and it's just kind of finally sprouting. And yeah.
And because before this interview, I always do a pre-interview, and you were talking about traumas. And if you want to talk a little bit about these traumas, feel comfortable. And I would like to know as well how this trauma could help you now to build your experience as well, and it won't stop you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like that was like kind of the reason too, like why I was really interested in like social work, sociology. It was really like trying to understand myself in the way that I was. But like I realized that, you know, I've been through a lot of traumatic things in my life. And I didn't even know that they were traumatic really until I went to school and realized that. And I'm like, wow, like I need to sort through this and really look at it. To be the best person that I could be. And I'm still working on that. I don't think that journey ever ends. But sorry, like what was the question? I'm talking about my trauma.
Perfect. So you told us that you had traumas, and I want to know how now these traumas help you now to build these experiences.
Okay, yeah. And like just traumas too. Also like feeling lost a little bit in life. I think like a lot of our youth, like we're just like really disconnected, youth, adults, everyone. And for me, developing like the experiences that I want to develop, it's all about like connecting and sharing and appreciating and really like just getting back to that. Like, I don't know what I love about this, but this feels good. Like it's like, that's like, it's just, that's what it is. And that's a lot about what Indigenous culture is. Like you could take like Indigenous 101 in university or in college or, you know, but to go somewhere and feel something, like to feel like the beat of the drum and like to really get connected. Often we see people like crying there and they're like, I don't know why I haven't cried in 2 years. And it's like, that's like the drum, like that's your mother's heartbeat. Like you're going right back to the womb. You're getting connected with Mother Earth. It's just, yeah, there's so much meaning. And I just want to share it. And to people who want to hear, I mean, it's not for everyone, but yeah.
This is really beautiful, and I don't know if we can do this parallel, but I found this quite therapeutic. Create an experience with those people, meaning all these people from all around the world. It really opened my eyes, and I always says that before I had so many labels, and I don't know what I was looking for. And more you meet people, more and more you know people, different culture. It seems like you know more yourself, and you really look like to know where you are from, and more you know where you're from. I think so. It helps a lot for you to be yourself. What I would like to know now, it's are you finally yourself now? Or is really helping you to be yourself? Are you still like,
I think no, I think there's like still some barriers that I need to like get through in order to me to fully achieve that.
what kind of
Even
barriers? If I want to,
the land restrictions, like not being able to have a fire between certain hours, like
oh,
just little things, like community things, which I respect and I know why they're in place. But for me to be able to fully get to like that end would be like, I do want to be free, like on the land. I do want to be able to have a fire when I want to have a fire. Like if I need that morning, I would like to light it. If I like need to do certain things, like I think that's how like indigenous people, like they really like they self-governed within themselves, but
okay.
they had a lot of trust. Like I don't know, we'll call it common sense, but like it's they really like took respect into what they were doing. They weren't just leaving fires there to burn like forests. They'd put it out when they left, or they'd stay there until it went out. And I think we've just lost that. There's just a lot of rules in place and a lot of different things for me to fully be like, okay, yes, this is it. Um,
And how do you
but
do?
I'm working on it.
But it's totally good. I like the fact that you said that all your accolades to when they do fires, they're trying to do the most in the most respectful way. And I always said to people when they want to create an experience, you need the approval, but the consensus too as well with the other people, with the citizen. You know, you will go somewhere, you ask people, you say, okay, here, this is my plan, this is my experience, here, this is what I'm gonna do. What are your opinion? What I should do, what I should not do, and why? And let's open a discussion. Eventually, we cannot be on a 100% agreement, but we can see, okay, this I can do this. Okay, this one I won't do it. Do that. Now, what I want to ask you is, how can we help you, us, the citizen and the government? How we can help you to create the perfect experience? What would you need? Like you see something else.
I think just open-mindedness and support and like ask questions like before judging.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
Like
Ask questions.
it's just ask questions
So
before
right.
you call the fire marshal. Like just, am I really bothering you? Or like maybe you should ask why we're even having this little tiny fire that's hardly making any smoke or something like that. I think that's the least that I could expect, and it'd make a big difference.
You are so right. And before that, I was so scared to ask question. But more and more, I get in touch with minority because I'm myself a minority as well. But what I've liked is when people ask me question about, oh, are you from that? You have that religion? You follow these rules? Why? And that helps so much. There's no taboos, and I always tell people there's no taboos. You can ask me any question. I will say, you know what, I feel uncomfortable with this question, but I will try to do my best to answer that question because I think it's way better that a person takes the time to ask you a question than he thinks or she thinks about something. And now this is the worst thing. When she
Yeah.
thinks and they think something, it's really hard to deconstruct it. So you're totally right. Ask question, open the discussion. And now I want to ask you two questions. Two good questions. What what are you scared of, first of all, and after that, I will ask you the second question.
Okay. So yeah, a big concern of mine doing like offering these experiences and like charging people a certain price is like getting like some negative feedback in terms of like lateral violence from other Indigenous people. A lot of the teachings, well, all teachings that we shared in the past, like we never charged people for, like this is for the good of the community, this is for the good of the people. We always just shared that, and in exchange people would always bring gifts, and they had just that way of doing where you got something back. These days it's not so much like that, so having to charge for something and sharing like some of this knowledge that I have, even though like I have a boundary there too, where I respect like the deeper things that, you know, people have to almost like earn to know. But for surface teachings and like all that, like I have so much to share. And um yeah, charging people, just getting like lateral violence, getting people being like, that's not how you do that. We do that this way. And that's not how you do that. We do that that way. And that's, I don't know, that's my biggest thing. Like I could take, you know, that from like anyone else, but like coming from other Indigenous people, I think that'd be like way more hurtful to me. So that's one of my, yeah, one of my concerns.
And how do you, the second question is, how do you think you can find a solution for this problem?
Yeah, so yeah, depending on what it would be, I definitely invite them to share, like give your feedback or come and help me do this, or I'll let you have your own circle where we invite, and then you could give your teaching, because that's something of mine where there's not one right way. When things are done with good intention, you're achieving you're achieving.
So
So
right. We're just
um
so right.
I want to be open to that too and practice that. So invite them. If there's another way of making a medicine pouch, then come.
I
Let's do
am
that.
I am in the same school of thinking as well. I'd rather be transparent and let's do something together. Let's. I'm really open with with what I do, and please give me your feedback. Tell me what you think about this, about that, and I always recall in the conversation that I won't be able to put everything that you said at work. It's impossible. But okay, but I will tell you, okay, this and that, we will do this for sure. This and that, I cannot do it because it doesn't fit my personality, it doesn't fit the way I want to do it. But this and that, we need you for that. Please come see and give your feedback. That's I think so. It's a really good way to do it, and I think so. It's a good tip as well to give to people. Sometimes it could have some negative effect, but I think so. The outcome it's way more positive than the negative effects. Finally, we have usually some question, some cards. We will end this, but before we will play with the deck of cards. If you find a question too boring, you tell me it's boring, and I will switch a card. So we have
That's not in my nature, but okay.
Oh, I love that. We have a set of cards here. This is we have the red, the really sour question, we'll say. The yellow, sour sugarish, and the teal, really sugarish. So I will ask you three questions from the deck of cards and feel comfortable to answer. So we will start with the sugarish question. What difference do you want to make in this world, Lynn?
The difference I want to make in this world is so that it's the 7 generation analogy. Like everything that we do today affects the 7 generations ahead. And I want them to have a beautiful world to live in too. So if we could start making little changes or big changes, that'd be really great, because the road that we're on is not very good for those 7 generations to come. And yeah, that's what I would like to
And
share with the world.
could you specify one thing? One little change.
Thing. It would be respecting Mother Earth, which encompasses a lot. So
and
being conscious, yeah.
I just want to rebound on that because I love the way you're thinking. And how could we, like, maybe one thing that we could do to help to respect Mother Earth? What would it be?
pay attention to your one-time plastic use
Ah,
consumption.
okay. That's a good thing. Thank you so much for that. I will do that. This this second question from the yellow card is happiness is blank spot. Happiness for you?
Happiness,
Yeah.
happiness is peace.
Oh, peace. Peace with what?
Peace with yourself. If you could be at peace with yourself, then the rest around you doesn't matter. When I can get at peace with myself, like knowing that I have a roof over my head, I'm not starving and stuff, like I'm like, wow, I'm very fortunate. I'm not comparing myself to the neighbor who has, a mansion and a truck and 3 trucks and all this stuff. Like I'm like, no, it's not about that. I'm at peace with myself and
Oh
I'm
my
well
God.
taken
Thank you
care of.
so much, Lynn. Because people, it took me a long time to define my own happiness. And I think it's really something, it's personal. And we should all work on that. It's good to define what's your happiness. And it doesn't necessarily, you can be inspired from someone else, but maybe not to copy everything, just to define your own stuff. Maybe you don't need a big car and a big mansion. You just need something else, and it's okay. I think so. People sometimes we are not aware of our own happiness, and it could so much more. We could resolve so much thing about it. Thank you so much for that. And the last card, the red one. No, this one I won't read it. I will cut it at the editing, but I will read it to you now. Would you ever considering taking back a partner you cheated on? Oh. But this one we won't take it off at the end. I was really on it. No. Okay. Have you ever lost someone close to you? How did you grieve?
Ooh, that's like I've lost a lot of people like when like I was young, like I lost all 4 of my grandparents, which I was super close to. I've lost a cousin, I've lost an uncle. And like I think when I was in high school, I lost like 4 or 5 friends.
4 or 5
So
friends.
like yeah, like our high school is not big either. Like we were at our maximum 300 people.
Wow.
And there was just like either freak accidents or I don't know, there was suicides too. So like, I mean, I've been through grief like a lot. And I understand now though too, like the last person that passed was like my uncle. He was my favorite uncle and he passed away just last year. And we did a sacred fire for him and we understand like the spirit journey, like because we are spirits living in a physical body. And yeah, we just did like all like the protocols and the ceremony like for him and like just understands that I'm grateful for every day that I have. Like if I'm given another day tomorrow, then I got to make the best of it. So it just helps me be grateful for who I am and why I'm still here. I still have a purpose. If anyone is still here today, you still have a purpose to achieve. And for those that are not here today, they've achieved what they needed to achieve, and they're going back to a place where, yeah, all the spirits are. So um, that's yeah. I think it's helped me just get through like accepting, I guess, not getting into like there's all these stages of grieving, which I don't know, I've learned about, but yeah, I won't get into that. And
It's
I
okay.
think I get to acceptance fairly quick. So yeah, grateful.
Thank you very much for all these for all your honesty about this question. I want to ask you now a last question. What would be the one piece of advice you would give someone that wanted to start an experience? The one thing that you, or he, she, they, anybody.
The piece of advice would just be like, just do it. Like,
Oh
just
my
try.
God!
Like
Yes.
you're not, yeah, there's nothing on the line. Just try it. There's nothing to lose. And like, I'm sure that it'll be good. Even if it's a thought in your head, I'm sure it'll be good because I think we're our worst critics sometimes and we're the
Yes.
ones hold us back the most. So, I mean, if it's already a thought in your head, then just do it.
You're so right. Please, thank you so much for that. Even myself, I wasn't the one who. I wasn't the one. It wasn't my idea to put myself in this sector of tourism experiences. My girlfriend told me, try it on. I said, okay, perfect, I'll try it. And it was instantly a success. So that's for sure. Don't think about it. Just do it. You'll see. I didn't think about it, and I just did it. I received all the advice, and I took it as it was my own. So thank you very much, Lynne Cormier. That was Nick D'Amour. Thank you for the NISCA Leadership Center for giving us the opportunity to have these wonderful, inspiring people from this tourism. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching us. Bye.
Bye.